Hello, you are here for another episode of CRM Success Secrets. Today we are going to be talking to Loren Chadima, a client of mine. She is the creator and teacher at Intentional Acting. Loren was named one of the best acting coaches in the United States by the Federation of American Musicians, Singers, and Performing Artists. Her intentional acting technique has helped to launch the careers of many actors, including Disney star Madison Hugh, and helped veteran actors take their career to the next level. Some of her current clients include the up and coming Galen Baker, Mabel on TikTok Retirement House. I've totally seen her. And Paralympian gold medalist, Blade Runner turned actor, Blake Leeper. Am I saying his name right?
Mm-hmm.
Loren produced and directed her first film, Surprise, as part of the prestigious American Film Institute's directing workshop for women. Her second film, Cries from Rama,
Rama.
Rama, thank you, which she also produced and directed, won several Best Film categories and qualified for the 79th Academy Awards. Woohoo! She has also directed a feature film, a children's TV pilot, and several spec commercials. Her critically acclaimed theater productions have been seen on both coasts and off Broadway. Loren was a featured acting coach in the film The Hollywood Complex and will be seen in Blake Leeper's upcoming documentary Abled, the Blake Leeper story. As an actor, she can be seen in National Crepe Erase commercials and the film Statica. Awesome.
Yeah. And my caveat always is when you watch the crepe erase commercial, those are not my arms.
That's so funny. Well, I wanted to have you on because we've worked together now for 3 years.
Wow.
And you came to me when the pandemic first started, really. And as an acting coach, Hollywood was totally closed at that time. And you were struggling with all the different tools that you had
Mm-hmm.
available to you.
Yes.
And I remember your biggest concern was that because you weren't able to make your tools work for you, you were not able to support your community of actors.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you just give us a little bit of background on what tools were you using before you started using an all-in-one kind of CRM?
I think that just about any entrepreneur is going to go through, I think, what I went through, which is, oh, I need a website. Oh, I'll never forget the first time somebody said, you need a CRM. I'm like, what's that? And they go, it's a contact relationship management tool. I'm like, okay, well, what does that do? And then to find one, and then to find one that worked. And at first I would think I was using was it MailChimp or and then going through all those email. So you have a CRM, but then I also was having a email deliverer,
Yeah.
thing. And so I think I started with MailChimp. I went to Constant Contact. At one point, I don't know, at one point I had all my contacts in my Constant Contact.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was using Constant Contact as a CRM. I don't know if that was not with you, but then somebody said to me, Loren, that's not a CRM. That's not going to work. And I'm like, well, it's sort of, and then this idea that maybe I could have my emails, that I could, my emails and my email marketing and everything could be in the same place. And then I went to, what was it? And then, and then somebody says, well, you need a lead page. I'm like, okay, I have a website. I need a lead page. I need a contact, a CRM. I need an email marketing tool. I had all these, right? And then somebody's like, and now you need like a booster for your social media, and you need, and so I like when I came to you and I'd started using Drip, which was impossible for an average human being, sorry, to use. And, and I didn't, I didn't even go to college to become an acting coach. My focus was on directing and television and film, and I started teaching and coaching and discovered intentional acting and found what it did for actors, and what a difference it made for me and for others. And it took my anxiety down way levels, and so I needed to bring my anxiety down in my business, and and I need to bring my expenses down, because I think I was spending over 250 plus dollars just on software, and then I couldn't figure it or how to make it work. And if one didn't work, they just send you to the other company if they didn't mix and mingle and talk to each other. And then I'm not a techie, and you put all that, and I spent so much time. And then, or I go, well, okay, I'm supposed to be good at delegating, so I'm going to pass this on to an assistant. And then I'd pass it on to the assistant. The assistant would be like, I don't know how to deal with all those things. It was just freaking a mess, and and so I was, when I met you, and they're like, an all-in-one, what's that? What? It's so much cheaper. It's all in one place. And then I get to talk to you, only one person who's going to tell me how to manage, and have these things talk to each other and work. I was just like, you're kidding me. Made me up. Because, and I really don't think I'm the only, because then the other all-in-ones, in all honesty, the other all-in-ones like Salesforce, and I can't remember the other one.
Ontraport.
No, there's
Infusionsoft.
Infusionsoft, right? Oh my God, those are like 350 plus an hour, right? I mean, a month, 350 plus. And then if you have even more emails, and it was just like, I can't afford that either, And so, and they didn't have, the people that I knew who said, yeah, I have it, but I've been using it for a long time, so I really understand it, and I get it for a good price. And so it was just like, it made me think of it makes me think of when you have knotted hair. That's what it was.
Oh my gosh, that's a great analogy.
Long hair. So instead of being the hot mess tamer, I think you should be the detangler.
That's also I like that, detangler.
Because that was like, oh my God, it felt like it was a hot mess, and it was like being tangled up. And I really, when I meet an entrepreneur who's going through that, and they're like, oh, I just use Constant Contact or MailChimp, I'm like, oh dear, care.
Yes. Well, once we detangled all of your software, we focused first on your class registration, and that continues to be something that evolves in
Absolutely.
your business.
Completely. It's always evolving. Yeah, because I had to make money, and it was 2020, and there was, and I did a big shift in 2020. I had been always in person teaching acting classes in studio with other people. And it was like my only choice was to go online. And honestly, I haven't gone back because I love it. And I get to work with students from all over the world. And
do your students love it too?
They do. And what's great is that people, like I particularly have a student, Maria Louise, who I met through the pandemic, and she's in England. And I never would have met her if it weren't for the pandemic and online classes. And she was on things like EastEnders. She was working actor, but then that pandemic hit, and she couldn't, her self-tapes, she couldn't book a job. So, and so what, she was great in person, but not so great. And so we worked together, and as we worked together, now she just booked 4 major roles with A-list actors. I can't tell you the names of them yet, but they're in the works, of coming out. And I do know she did have one. She wasn't opposite, but she was in a film with Idris Elba.
Ooh.
She booked a job with him, and so So for me, I was like, I need to focus on these people and on making money and filling my classes, not on my systems.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the big first detangle, was how do I set up a registration so that people can like go to my website and sign up, which is what they can do now.
Yes. And when we first started working together, you really just had like what you call a level 1 class, which was more your foundations, right?
Right. And now I have 4 classes. Yeah.
Wow. So tell us a little bit more about what the 4 are.
So the classes are, you start with the foundation, and we talk about these 8 keys and 9 questions of intentional acting. So you get a really strong foundation. In acting, I focus mostly on television and film. From there, these are tools that you can practice. It's a step-by-step repeatable technique. And then we add the second level is comedy. So we add these 10 tools of comedy. So we have this base and we add in a comedy. Their third level is intentional character. And the fourth level is the master class, where we work on auditions, and really everything is always meant to take the actor to their next level. What is missing in their performance, from being undeniable and booking the job and taking them to that next level. So setting it up so that they can go from one level to the next level to the next level. But yeah, when I met you, I just had one, threw them all in the same place and worked with it. And then I also have private coaching. So then that's another thing that I have to schedule and have links to join too.
Yeah. And so with the CRM, what we do for your class registration is allow people to pay.
Mm-hmm.
You also do a coupon for early registration, and you
Mm-hmm.
have a registration open right now, right?
Yeah, I do. Anybody out there listening, watching? I have another set of classes starting on September 14th. And if you're interested, go to discoverintentionalacting.com. That's another thing she helped me with. And get a quick discovery session with me, and we'll find out if it's a good match.
Yes. Yeah. So is your early bird pricing still open?
It is,
It
actually.
is. Okay. So your early bird pricing gives them, I think it's $90 or $100 discount.
Yeah.
And then once that early bird is over, it does just roll over to the full price for
Right.
you. And we've changed a lot about how the registration process goes, because I think you had a lot of like legalese documents originally.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
That was kind of crazy.
You know what happens, guys, is that it gets so automated that you forget about things.
Yes.
But I have to tell you, when I was in person, I had this registration form. They had to fill out their registration form, and then I would have to come in and put it in several different softwares like QuickBooks and my email list, right?
Mm-hmm.
And check everything off. And then I also had the legalese of like, all the, particularly now on video, I have to have them sign off on that. And so all of that was like paper that I used to have, right? Or then online, I would just send them an email, or I would cross my fingers and hope, and now you're right, I forget about it, because now it's all set up that when they register, they sign through all that paperwork. And then if I have returning students going to the next level, they can just click that they're returning students, and then they don't have to fill that stuff out again, which is terrific,
Yeah.
And
yeah. And I also think sorry, go ahead.
Well, it's all taken care of. And and legally, I don't even have to worry about paper or anything,
Yeah, that's true. I think we also flipped it, because originally you had all all those pieces of paperwork done first, and then they pay. And we flipped it to you pay, and then you go through the paper. It's much more limited also, because you're not teaching children anymore. So that helps.
I work with parents and kids in private coaching. I just find that these kids that I work with are really serious about getting on television and film, and putting them in a class environment. They tend to get very social, and we play more games, and they want more games. And the ones that I really like working with and who really benefit the most are the ones who are, like
Well,
Madison,
that makes sense.
who wants to be a Disney star.
Right.
You
Not the summer camp
know,
kids.
no, I am not the summer camp acting class. Just warning, I am not the summer camp acting class. I am not like, oh, I think I'll take an acting class. No, this is, training for professionals and their parents of their kids.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. What has been the most beneficial to you with your CRM and having it all in one place?
Are you kidding me? Didn't I just tell you? Like, oh my God, my head, my thoughts are detangled. I just oh my God. Like I have my lead pages I have the lead page, the website, my website's not on the CRM yet, but the
Mm-mm.
lead pages, my email mark. So if I send an email, I can see what emails I've sent. I can see that they got the email marketing. When I often go, Mary Sue, they didn't get this. I'm like, Mary Sue, they're not getting this. Can you please fix this? And she'll write back. She goes, well, they got this and this and this, and they're not telling you the truth. And I'm like, oh. And
You're not the only one that happens to.
And then they send that to me and they say, I paid and I did this. And she's like, well, no, they didn't because da 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 da. And so that's just, oh my gosh, it's just so much more ease. And,
Mm-hmm.
it's a process. It took time to turn these things over. And you really helped me like with that because you have to, I am learning that one of my character defects is impatience. I kind of want it done yesterday. Or I kind of, if I see it and I can do it, I want it done. And I've had to learn how to work with my business in stages, right? And you really helped me with that. Like, okay, this stage, let's just get this registration, get classes going, right? Let's just get this set up. And now you've helped me train my assistant so she can do more of those things. And then the lead pages, I can go in and then shift and change. And I have to be careful when I go in and shift and change, though I will say I don't, because I have occasionally messed something up or given the wrong link, but you always help me detangle even my own messes.
Thank you. Well, this isn't a question I prepped you for, but you have a book coming out.
I do. I actually am on the hunt for a publisher. That's the truth. I'm on the hunt for a publisher. So if somebody's out there listening who might be a publisher or an agent or a literary agent, I want you to think about this. My book that's coming up is called Stop Memorizing Your Lines, because so many actors, think that great actors memorize their lines first. And
that's what I would think.
Yeah, and most actors do work so hard and think, well, if I just have the lines memorized, then I can really do the work. But really great actors either don't memorize their lines at all or they do it last. And so this technique the intentional acting, is really like the tools of memorization woven into the technique, which is very novel. I did a lot of research on this because it was very frustrating to me that it was frustrating me. I struggled with memorization, and I struggled with I'd have it all memorized, and then I go to do the scene, and now that word is, I can see it and it's on the top of that right page, and
Right.
remember it, I'm gone, right? And then
you stumble because you can't remember.
Right. And then I can't be in the scene, and then I'm not acting and I don't book the job, right? But what I noticed working with my actors is they did this technique that I could take the script away and I'd be like, how did you memorize that so fast? And I said, well, I just did what you told me. And so then as I researched it, I realized that really, and that was my experience, acting teachers don't teach you how to memorize. They just say, go memorize. They really do. Even all the big books like Stanislavski and Uta Hagen, all those books, they have like a chapter. And in fact, Stanislavski said that he had troubles memorizing, and 25% of his performance was gone because he couldn't memorize. And this is the godfather of acting, right? And so when I realized that these two things go together, that's why I'm so excited to get this out in the world, because it really works and it really helps actors, and it's such freedom. Like my TikTok star, Mabel on Retirement House, she's 86 years old. Okay. And she couldn't memorize half a page of material when I met her. And now she flies through it. She calls herself the one take wonder. She gets callbacks for every audition. So we're really, and books them too. So I'm helping, like, now I have some other people coming to me going, I heard you can help people memorize lines. So yes.
That's awesome. So, I didn't realize you were looking for a publisher still. Are you doing anything with at least the book and the cover, like trying to build your mailing list with that, or at this point?
Really? Huh, Mary Sue? That's exactly what I'm going to need more of. Yes, I am. The other thing I use in CRM that I started using is the opportunities bar.
Yes, that's so.
And the pipeline. And I wasn't sure how to use that. It took me, like I said, it goes in stages. So now I'm tracking how many agents or publishers that I've sent my material out to. Same thing with students. I'm tracking where they are in this, in the pipeline and in the funnel. So yeah, that's how I'm doing that, and building my mailing list. And that's what's, I think, is also really great, is that because of this program, I can go. I know my emails are clean. We've worked really hard on that, Mary Sue, to make sure that my email list is really clean, and that I can easily unsubscribe people and get them out, and I can and so with those, so that then when I'm talking to publishers and agents, I can say, look, I have a really clean list of about, I think right now I'm almost 6,000 people. I have a really clean list. And if we think about that, that was 2,000 when I think I started working.
Yeah, I think so. Wow. So, well, we'll have to talk more about growing your list in anticipation of your book coming out.
Thank you. Yes.
And for all of you other authors out there, you do need to be building your marketing funnel for your book even before it's published.
Well, and just so you know, on my to-do list is to give you a landing page for my book.
I was reading your mind.
You are reading my mind.
Well,
he does that too, by the way.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story, Loren. I just recall when you started, I didn't have the appreciation for what it felt like when you have all these tools to try and pull together and you're not comfortable with it. And then the lack of support, I think that was really powerful for me. And I've enjoyed working with you these many years.
Even though I cry all the time, right?
I don't recall that, but so thank you for listening to CRM Success Secrets, and we will have another episode next week. My goal with these podcasts are to empower you to try something new, do something different, because you're hearing from someone else that probably has the same skill level as you do with technology, but still is making it work for their business. So thank you very much.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.